Mhm.
Paper, see
Fat Polly, Fat Polly, Fat Polly. The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Fat Polly. We are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all-round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Fat Polly. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fat Polly. Vocational skill is our watchword. Proficiency in technical training. Fat Polly. Giving the best on technical education, paving ways for discovery of talents, diverse training on entrepreneurship. Stand on your feet and rise to the skies. Fat Polly. So dear to my heart are you. Arise and take your place. You are the best. You are the best. Fat Polly.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, welcome back to the second day of our international conference at the afternoon technical session. I have with me here the chair session, Dr. Vike Adebi of the accountancy department. He's a fellow of chartered accountants, and he will be piloting the affairs of this technical session. Let me call on Mr. Mohamed Mukhtar. Mr. Mohamed Mukhtar, please unmute yourself and make your presentation. Mr. Mohamed Mukhtar.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, please. Go ahead, please.
The other time it was we're having network challenges. So
you are better. You are better now, so you can do us a favor by speedily going through your paper. Let us know the background, right. Tell us your methodology, your findings, and your recommendations. Go ahead, please. You have 7 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. Still on the, I'm Mohamed Mukhtar, and I'm presenting a paper on analysis of the impact of COVID-19 on the Nigerian economy. So what may have started as a local case of respiratory disease in China in late 2019, the novel coronavirus disease became a global challenge to all economics in the Nigerian economy. Even as local and international responses continue to develop, many countries around the world are facing significant challenges as a result of the impact of the virus on their economic system. Report from the Brookings Institute shows that Nigeria had a fragile economy even before the pandemic. The country's GDP growth was estimated as only 2.5% in 2020 by Onyekeru and Ekeruche 2020. So my objectives are to analyze the impact on the COVID-19 on the Nigerian economy. Analysis of the impact of COVID-19 on Nigerian economy. Because of the amount of tax in the entity remit to the government is direct proportional to the volume of economic activities of that entity, provided that tax rate is fixed or constant at the rate at that category of business. Amount of tax returns can be a good indicator of health of the local economy. To investigate the impact of COVID-19 on the Nigerian economy, we use econometric method, which is regression discontinuity design, RDD. To do our assessment, we sought out 18 months of aggregate tax returns data from January 2019 to June 2020, from both substantial internal revenue and the Federal Inland Revenue, which is FIRS. Unfortunately, we are not able to get all the full data for this. However, we are fortunate to get data from the Federal Capital Territory Inland Revenue Service, FCT, IRS, Abuja. Like most times, sensitive events respect the impact of the COVID-related restriction policies to lag behind the months it was issued. So these were my results. Looking at the curve from the regression discontinuity plots, you could see that before COVID-19, that from the table we showed before, it shows us that there is a significant difference in the revenue collection between pre-COVID-19 and post-COVID-19 period. So meditating the impact of COVID-19 from the results we get, the government is able to meditate the result by adopting two policies, which is the hello.
Well, with you. Go ahead. Well, with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the effect, which is the public health, where the governments were able to meditate COVID-19 through Presidential Task Force for COVID-19, transportation and logistics, ban of mass and social gathering, closure of schools, lockdown, nationwide overnight curfew, mask mandates in public policies. Another way is through social economic policies. That is tax measures, monetary policies, custom measures, etc. So from our conclusion, from the data we
Mr. Mohamed Mukhtar, please, you can summarize your presentation. Then with the technical chair will make comments on your paper, please.
Okay. So my conclusion, from my conclusion, we said trend in global economic trajectory. It is apparently no economic is immune from the impact of COVID-19. My analysis shows that FCT IRS tax revenue collection and it is dwelling fortune for the period under review for the 18 months. Therefore, it is predicted loss in revenue over 150 million Nigerian naira. While for the period of the 2019 to 2020, there is a predicted loss of nearly 120 million naira. These losses indicate that there is a growing gap in the tax collection and trend is likely to persist as business continue to struggle under the weight of government meditation policies in the wake of pandemic. So I'm recommending that there should be need for quick and sustainable response from the government in the private sector, military instruction, non-governmental organization, and other stakeholders that ensure the right blend of efficiency and effectiveness in both managing the public health crisis while resurrecting the economy.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Let me hand over to the chairman to make observations. Chairman, please.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Mohamed Mukhtar.
Okay.
For the information you have on analysis of the impact of COVID-19 on the Nigerian economy is well presented.
Okay.
However, the references you are citing, so is up to June 2020, and you are saying you want to tell us the impact that it has on the economy generally. And within those periods itself is the period of the COVID-19 itself. So, and if you want to tell us the impact it has on the economy, it will now have to be after that 2020, after the COVID-19 pandemic. That is the period we are now. So, which should go beyond that June 2020. That's the first aspect. The second aspect is about the recommendation. Maybe what you have here in your paper, you have the conclusion, and the conclusion is what you are emphasizing. After the conclusion, you have to tell us the recommendation that you have that we will now benefit on the impact, that the benefit that we want to derive, we should derive from the COVID-19, despite the fact that COVID-19 brought about the fall in GDP. Then how do we now mitigate the fall in that GDP to improve upon it? So you have to bring that as part of the information you have to give to enlighten the populace, so as to actually contribute to the knowledge of others that are already within on those activities.
All right, I will make those recommendations. Now I have those recommendations. I'm sorry it's not in my book.
So it's not your paper, you are just reading from your own. So you should
on your paper,
so that
all right, okay. I will send it back instantly.
No problem. Thank you, Mr. Mukhtar.
Thank you.
Okay, so thank you
for
very
the
much.
presentation. God bless you. Then let me take what I have here. I'll take Olukotun Olushola Ayodele. I don't know whether that's a male or female. Please, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation, please. I'm not sure of the gender. Kindly unmute yourself and make your presentation. Olukotun Ayodele, please unmute yourself and make your presentation, please. Please go ahead and make your presentation.
Are you hearing me, sir?
Loud and clear. You are live. Please go ahead, make your presentation. You have 7 minutes, please.
7 minutes, okay. Yes, I'm presenting a paper on the awareness of computer-related health problems among secretaries in selected organizations in Minna Metropolis. Hello, sir, are you hearing me?
Go ahead, please.
Okay. The study,
go ahead.
The extent of awareness of computer-related health problems among secretaries in selected organizations in Minna Metropolis. The researchers adopted a descriptive survey design because the researchers used questionnaire to obtain the views or opinions of the respondents. 35 secretaries came from 3 selected organizations in Minna Metropolis. That is INEC, ITF. The instrument used for the data collection was a modified 4-point rating of questionnaire, which was validated by 2 research experts. 30 copies of the questionnaires were distributed and were retrieved and analyzed using mean and standard deviation. The mean score of 2.50 was used as the benchmark for acceptance. All mean scores equals to 2 or higher than the benchmark of 2.5 represents high extent. One mean scores lower than the benchmark of 2.50 represents low extent. The findings from the study reveal that lower than that.
I think we lost connection with that madam. We lost connection with her. So I have Mr. Odetayo, Mr. Tajudeen Odetayo. Mr. Odetayo, please. You can unmute yourself and make your presentation, Mr. Odetayo. Mr. Odetayo, kindly unmute yourself and make your presentation.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. We can't hear you, sir. Hello. Hello.
Mr. Odetayo, please go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Dr. Odetayo, I'm sorry, I could not get the title. Apologies.
Okay.
I'm aware that you are director of State Polytechnic. You are highly welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We are trying to lay our hands on your paper. I hope you have sent a copy of the paper.
Yes, sir, we've done that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You can go ahead and make your presentation. We'll take it. You have 7 minutes, sir. You have 7 minutes.
All right, sir.
Dr. Odetayo, once I've corrected myself, Dr. Odetayo.
So we were unable to share our screen. Can you enable us, please?
Yes, I disabled the other time because people were doing that while the presentation was on. Okay. You can share now. You can share your screen now. You can go ahead and share your screen now, sir.
All right. It's all right. Is it on now, sir?
Yes, it's on.
All right, sir. We hereby present a paper titled Determinant of Employees' Performance and Non-Financial Performance of Higher Institutions of Learning, using Osun State Polytechnic as a case study.
Go ahead, please. We are with you. We are with you, sir.
One of the most critical tool in management is woman. And the essence of woman is to ensure that the objective of the organization is achieved within the limited resources. And being important are key elements in resources management. So this is the focus of this study. And that is why 3 objectives have been set for this study. The first one is to look at the relationship between the employee's performance and the organizational performance in Osun State Polytechnic. And the second one is to examine the effects of employees' performance on the mission statement of this institution. And the last one is to ensure that the effect of employee performance as to the mission statement of the institution is examined. And the hypothesis that I will set for the study is based on the 3 objectives. And the first one has to do with the relationship, whether it is significant, between the employee's performance and the organizational performance. The second one is to see whether the effect of employees' performance on the statement mission of the school. And the hypothesis here is that there is no significant relationship between the employees' performance and the mission statement. And the last one is to see the significance in employees' performance and mission statement of the school. In the methodology, we ensure that the cross-sectional survey was done to ascertain the questionnaire for the study. And doing that, we tested the instrument set, and at the end of the day, we found that the reliability test for the instrument was positive. It was above 60%. And in the sampling, we had 206 students. The employees were selected for the study. Chief and the influential statistics were used for the study. And the result of the study is shown in table 1. You have 45 items and it's small scale categorized into the reliability coefficient of 4. And at the end of the day, you will see that Cobalt Alpha 0.7, 0.8, 0.6, 0.9 were obtained. You have just you have the table 2 as the test of reliability tests, and you have at the end of the day you have the result of the study as table 3, where you have the result being analyzed as shown above. With the finding, you can see that there's the significance of variables. For variable 1, you have leadership competency with a significant of 0.007 as being significant, and the professional training as one of the variables that is being considered for the performance of employee. You have 0.04, which is also significant. The same thing applies with the job satisfaction, and the same thing goes with good governance. You will see that the only one that is significant among the sub-variables is which is the organizational culture is the only one that is significant. You can see that at the end of the day, you have the R square given as being 0.15, which is 15%. The adjusted R square give you 12%.
So, Detayo, please,
yes,
can you please move to your findings and recommendations? Okay. The results are clear enough.
At the end of the day,
can skip to your findings and recommendations
of the study, which led to the recommendation. You see that the finding of the study is that there is good governance. That's one of the findings, that there is a positive good governance to the performance of the employees. And at the end of the day, we recommend that in order to create a workforce, there should be a dependent and devoted improvement on the employees' performance, so that at the end of the day, the mission of the organization can be achieved. Lastly, we recommended that organizational culture be sustained. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tajuddin Odetayo. I'm aware, I'm made to know that you are the acting rector of Osun State Polytechnic. When I listen to the voice of the person sitting beside you, and I listen to your voice, I can actually see the difference between the voice of the rector and that of the person that spoke earlier. Thank you very much. Let me hand over to the. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Hello, sir. If you are with us when we are presenting the first paper, we presented the first paper just maybe 2 hours ago.
Yes, but I'm not sure that was presented by Mr. Makinde.
Hello, sir. If you listen to our presentation there was a woman by your side.
Yes.
That woman asked for the recommendation, and I was the one that replied to her. So
okay.
You can see that when you have very rare. Hello, sir.
It's been long I saw a rector, an acting rector, make a paper presentation. This is wonderful. One of our colleagues saying that you are a good academic rector. I think that will go a long way.
Yes. Thank you. And that is why I decided that I have to come and share the experience.
We really appreciate this. We really appreciate this, sir.
So thank you very much, sir.
I will hand over to the chairman to actually make some comments on the.
Dr. Adebi.
So Dr. Adebi on the line.
Dr. Adebi.
So thank you very much. We appreciate you very much for the good presentation.
Thank you, sir.
So as my oga at the top, I think I will just allow you to take a bow. So, thank you very much.
Yes.
I don't think the rector will want to.
You know, he has done good justice to the paper.
That would have been fine. It's not as if it's not like the paper is well articulated. Thank God.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Finance related, and the person beside me is a finance guru. So I believe you know yourselves, and if you have said you should take it out, there's no problem.
All right.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing you at our future conferences, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
So let me call on Dr. Fajimi. Dr. Fajimi, please. Dr. Fajimi, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation. Dr. Fajimi, please.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Fajimi, kindly, make your presentation, sir. You have 7 minutes, sir. Kindly help us to talk to your people in 7 minutes, sir. 7 minutes.
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, sir. Make your presentation. Dr. Fajimi, please unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself and go ahead with your presentation.
Okay. Hope you can see me now. Okay.
I can see you. I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. The title is Financial Management Practices and Performance of Small and Medium Enterprises in Southwestern Nigeria. Small and medium enterprises are important contributors to economic growth in the area of employment generation, reduction in rural urban migration, and reduction in social crime. They also contribute to production of goods and services. When government realizes this, certain measures are put in place to boost the performance of small and medium enterprises. Part of the measure by government is the directive to commercial banks to start to grant loan to small and medium enterprises at very reduced interest. Government also set up microfinance scheme also for loan. Then that's the Nigerian Industrial Development Bank is also part of what the measures introduced by government for long-term loans. Despite all this that government has provided, there is the performance is not satisfactory in the sense that the rate of unemployment is continue to go up. There's high rate of rural and urban migration. Then access to credit facility is also not satisfactory. Now, small and medium enterprises are business enterprises that have between 10 employees and 199 employees, that is less than 9, and then less than more than 9 workers and less than 200 workers. There are also the business enterprises that have between 5 million naira as capital investment and 50 million naira. Generally, there is no universally accepted definition of small and medium enterprises. Different nations of the world define it based on number of employees and capital investment. But I concentrated this my study on the business enterprises that have between 10 workers and 199 workers. Then capital investment between 5 million naira and 50 million naira. Now, financial management involves 3 things: how funds are raised, how the funds raised are invested, and how profit is treated at the end of the day. That is, we have what we call financing decision, investing decision, and dividend decision. In financing decision, proprietor of business look at how he can raise a fund for the business to minimize risk. Then the fund raised, how it is going to be utilized. That is investment decision. Whenever there is a profitable investment opportunity, the owner of the company to assess the projects one by one to see which of them will bring profit.
Please, you can tell us your methodology. Let us know your findings and recommendations in clear terms, please, sir. In clear terms, sir. Your methodology, your findings, and your recommendations, sir.
Okay. According to past researches, population of study that I used is 7,035 SMEs, sample size 365, and sampling technique, purposive sampling. I adopted purposive sampling because it is not every business organization that keep accounting record. Those that can be useful for this work, they are those that keep accounting record. Then for method of analysis, I use descriptive statistics, percentage frequency distribution, and weighted average score. Then for the result, I analyzed 7 components of financial management: cash management, account receivable management, inventory management, investment management, financing decision, financing reporting and analysis, and accounting information management. Out of this, the weighted average score for each of them was more than 3.2. For example, cash management, we have 3.33 as weighted average score. Then for the least one there, financing decision, 3.12. The result here shows that small and medium enterprises practice financial management just moderately. And that's why the effect is not so much felt in Nigeria. That's why we have we still have escalating rate of unemployment, then higher rate of rural and urban migration, and some other effects. So the study revealed that small and medium enterprises in southwestern Nigeria practice financial management just moderately. This could be seen in the weighted average score of between 3.2 and 3.37 for the 7 elements I analyzed. One can then conclude that the survival of small and medium enterprises depends on how funds are managed. Small and medium enterprises in southwestern Nigeria are trying, but they have not done so much to have deserved much recommendation. I have 3 recommendations here. 1, small and medium enterprises should devote more attention and time to financial management practices, because the way they close down is not good for the nation. The effect of their presence is not so much felt. Then owners of small and medium enterprises to ensure that there's adequate remuneration for the agents that are helping them to manage the business. This thing being that between the owner of business and the agents, there's what we call conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. The owner wants as much profit as possible, while the manager, the agent, wants as much benefit in form of salary and allowances as possible. For the agent to get as much as he wants, profit is up.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Thank you very much. We have to stop you here so that we can have observations and comments on your paper.
Okay,
And I think you will have a jotting of all those comments so that you can make necessary corrections.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
The paper is
Okay, sir.
very well articulated and presented, though it's a big bulky for even those the small and medium scale organization to even go through because of the weight of the paper. So sometimes you have to reduce some things, and especially on the aspect of the introduction and so on. So the literature review aspect, the
yes, sir,
final user so may not be able to go very well with that. So because of the more detailed information that you have there. So in view of that, you can just review that to reduce the size. And on that recommendation too, there should be some aspects because of the fact that those target audience, they are not actually left out somehow. And that is why many of those categories do not have record that you can even lay your hand upon. So in view of this, the encouragement as to use those people that will assist them in preparing their account supposed to be part of the recommendation. So it's not only the government, they themselves should be enlightened on the necessity because of the winding up and so on of those and that aspect of the those. So you have to encourage them to actually know how to take stock, how to prepare this financial paper and so on, so as to assist them in future. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Fadi. You have to make adequate corrections and turn in your paper for publication in the next edition of our journal. Thank you. I can let me call on Faustina and Kiruka, please. You can unmute yourself and make your presentation, please.
Hello, sir.
The challenge I'm having with that sound coming is that you have two devices active in that location that you are. Somebody should leave that place so that you have only one device so that the signal will not be interfering each other. One person has to leave. I think you and Mr. Saki are in the same place. Your devices are interfering each other. Somebody can off one while we make use of one that is available.
Okay, continue.
The two devices are still active, so now and make your presentation. You have not unmuted. Please unmute yourself. Unmute yourself and make your presentation.
Can you hear me now, sir?
Go ahead, I can hear you now. Go ahead. You have
Okay.
7 minutes, please.
I want to present a paper on entrepreneurship development and skill acquisition, financials for youth restiveness and insecurity in a post-COVID environment. The economy of a nation could be determined on the basis of how formidable the security architecture is designed to ensure that lives, properties, and investments are fully secured. This could be realistic when government enact policies and programs that are geared towards training and skill acquisition, which the outcome accelerates economic development, employment generation, and self-reliance. It is in recognition of this that government placed the issue of security in high priority in the yearly fiscal budget because of its peculiarity and relevance in all spheres of national development. In this study, we have some conceptual clarification of keywords: entrepreneurship development. When we say one under entrepreneurship development, to be enterprising involves being mentally active so that opportunities can be utilized for positive outcomes. Entrepreneurship, therefore, is the process of activity undertaken by an entrepreneur to scan the environment, seize the opportunities to bring in goods and services and related products that will add value to the society. Therefore, entrepreneurship focuses on wealth creation and value addition. We also have entrepreneurial skill acquisition. This is the special ability acquired or developed as a result of training to do something well. It is one of the significant factors for building a successful career. Entrepreneurial skill acquisition is a vital tool for fighting, reducing, and curbing security challenges. Insecurity, on the other hand, is a state of fear and anxiety which emanated from lack of protection and uncertainty, which could result to deaths, psychological trauma for individuals and families in the country. And we have some of the causes of insecurity in Nigeria today. One of them is corruption, marginalization, social inequality, poverty, bad leadership, youth employment, unemployment, and so on. And we have some manifestations of insecurity today. We have fear among citizens, loss of lives, loss of properties, increased crime rates and social vices, discouragement of our industrialization. Of course, there is no country or nation that is passing through insecurity that will encourage investment from outside the country to come and invest, because nobody wants to, invest his resources in a country that is not well secured. And coming to COVID-19.
Please, can you move to your findings and recommendations? Let us know your methodology, findings, and recommendations, please. Your methodology, findings, and recommendations, please.
In carrying out this study, we adopted a conceptual approach. And one of my recommendations is the government should encourage entrepreneurship development through the provision of incentives to entrepreneurship development while standing as a guarantor for intending entrepreneurs. And the unemployed youth should venture into entrepreneurial activities to help reduce the incidence of economic depression and youth restiveness. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Please let me let the chairman respond to make comments on your presentation.
Thank you, Mrs. Gusoro FN, for the paper well presented. However, the paper submitted, all the keywords here that you start with are not on the paper. So immediately after the abstract, you're supposed to post those keywords so that though it features in your explanation so that you know that you have them, that you did not just present them as summary. So that is the, then the issue of the methodology that you said you use, the conceptual is not so pronounced in your paper, and because of that, it's almost historical research that you use generally. So maybe you have to still make it more, you have to improve upon that aspect so that the methodology will be well specified and featured in your paper. So apart from just the presentation. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Zoro. Please, Mrs. Olukotun, please unmute yourself and conclude with your presentation you were having the other time. Yes.
Okay. Are you hearing me now, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Before I was cut off by the network, I was talking on the conclusion that it was concluded that the awareness of the computer-related problems among secretaries was very low. Then the recommendation, we recommended that the management of the selected organizations should organize health checkups at regular intervals. They provide guidelines and regular on-the-job training to secretaries so as to sensitize them and also to create awareness of the computer-related health problems as well as the skills needed to make them cope with the computer problems. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Let me allow the chairman to make comments on your paper.
All right, sir.
You are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
The methodology that you adopted, that is
okay.
Survey design.
I can't hear you, sir.
I said about the methodology that you adopted.
All right.
You said it's descriptive survey design.
Yes, survey design, yes. Because we use a questionnaire to seek opinion of the respondents.
Yes. Okay. So in view of that, when you are now analyzing, so instead of, because you have already stated them as part of your research question and so on, so by the time you are now analyzing them, you are still doing those activities. Maybe that's why the paper is just so just have to just that the statistical method that you use is not also clear as for this paper.
Okay.
So because immediately after you analyze those questionnaire, so you're supposed to pick a particular methodology that you now use to analyze so that you will be relating those activities to the title of the paper. So
all right.
To improve on that too. So the conclusion is okay, as well as the recommendation. So thank you very much.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you. I'll take Mrs. Ajayi FF. Mrs. Ajayi FF, you have two papers with us here, but we'll take the digital and global information networking environment as panacea to the evolving roles of professional librarians. Please, we'll take that. We'll take the one with digital and global information networking environment. Mrs. Ajayi, you have 7 minutes. Please talk to your paper, please. That's the first one we'll take. We'll take the presentation of Mr. Motajo after Mrs. Ajayi. We'll take the presentation of Mr. Motajo.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, please. Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Permit me to stand on the 60 protocol. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. My paper is tied to Global and Digital Information Networking Environment as panacea to evolving role of professional librarian. The paper is presented by Ajayi FF, Buhari GI, Ojolape SM, Omole.
The paper is authored by all those people, but presented by you, ma.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Okay, thank you. As we all know, the library offers the various type of services and spread the knowledge to the users community. They have a globalization in the world of librarianship. Is a concept that describes the ever-growing cooperation, integration, and interdependence among different libraries. Therefore, library global network is defined by Omeko 2004 as a cooperative arrangement between several libraries for lending book or electronic information resources within a library or intercontinental different libraries. Digital and global information networking environment has brought unprecedented changes and transformation to the academic libraries and information services, such as OPAC, user service, reference service, current awareness services, and the rest. According to BINTA 2015, confirmed that library global networking is gradually shifting from collection management to information management, which call for the changes in the role of library professional in digital environment. Therefore, there is need for library to adopt modern technologies to revamp remote communication between users and librarians. And this is one of the reasons why librarians need to acquire the ability to understand the need, or the need to acquire the ability to understand and provide information to their potential users in this contemporary and dynamic society. However, a typical librarian in a digital environment is defined by BINTA 2015 as a technology application leader who work within other members of the information management team to design and evaluate systems for information access that meets users' needs. The new role of professional librarian in academic library, according to Blake 2006, call for digital resources sharing, which comprise of transaction which the librarian make available for their clientele.
Mrs. Ajayi, please, your paper is an opinion paper. Can you please tell us the contribution of the paper to the existing body of knowledge and tell us your suggestion as what you think would solve the problem? Please, okay. You can do that in 2 minutes, please.
Okay, the objective of the paper is to ascertain the evolving role of librarian in global information networking environment and to find out the major challenges faced by professional librarians in this global information networking environment. Then the major challenges faced by the librarian in the digital and global information networking are financial problem, epileptic power supply, low bandwidth, and the rest. The solution to the challenge faced by the librarian are this: provision of funds to maintain and to upgrade the library software for enabling network environments. Then librarians should not feel threatened by computer and technical development. Then librarians must acquire new technology skill and be aware of the strengths and weakness. Then the network problem should be tackled through the provision of sufficient bandwidth. So I will conclude with this paper provided discussion on digital and global information environment as financial to the new role of professional librarian.
I can see Yemi Sulaiman raising hands. Please, you can pass information through the chat box, please. You can send your information through the chat box. We'll take it there. Mrs. Ajayi, please continue.
Yes, sir. For library to attain this goal and be relevant in the age where users have alternative, the librarian also need to acquire relevant ICT skill, especially in the use of available ICT facility in order to provide effective service to the library users. Then my recommendation are this. The library and information school should organize refresher courses to keep the librarian abreast of new trends in the profession. Then adequate internet laboratory equipment with modern tool for providing digital service to the user must be provided by the management. Then apprenticeship program on ICT should be over to the newly qualified BLS and master's students. Then the library and information.
Mrs. Sajai, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for your presentation.
Sir. So my references
you can listen to the observation and comment of the references, please. You can listen to the comments and observation from the chairman and take note of them to effect correction.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Ajayi. Fumilayo Olake. The paper is okay. Starting from the title. So, and as to the paper itself, since it is empirical in nature, the activities there so are well articulated. So you're supposed to be doing better by having the current references. Most of the references there are maybe a few years ago, so which is not good enough for the type of paper you are presenting. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mrs. Ajayi. We can stay put. Let us take the presentation from Mr. Bababumi, and we will actually have you back to make your second presentation. Thank you. God bless you. No, there's one Yemi Sulaiman here, and he's talking about one effect of economic effect of COVID-19, whatever. That will be tomorrow. 2017. Mrs. Ajayi, please unmute yourself and make presentation on that paper. Go ahead, unmute yourself, please. You have not unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. The title of my paper is Adoption and Utilization of Electronic Information Resources Among Library Users.
You have 7 minutes, please. You have 7 minutes.
Electronic information resources can be divided as information material that need computer to access, whether through personal computer, mainframe, or handle devices, and are accessed by the use of internet or local area network. In today's networked environment, the emphasis of the library collection are gradually shifting towards electronic information resources. According to Singer 2015, electronic information resources has drastically changed the way of accessing the concerned information in the databases. And it is also provided marvelous speed for retrieving needed information. To buttress this point, Kuman and Singh 2011 confirmed that electronic information resources play a pivotal role in enhancing research and development activities and improving the productivities of individual users. Therefore, this study is aimed to ascertain the adoption and utilization of electronic resources among library users at various levels. The objective of this study is to ascertain the level of utilization of electronic information resources among library users. They have to find out the types of electronic resources used by the library users. They have to identify the benefits of using electronic information resources and others. The adoption of electronic information resources among library users. In the study of Olajide 2016, the use of electronic resources had a positive impact on students' academic performance, and it was recommended that more emphasis should be placed on the acquisition of electronic resources so as to give room for wider and multiple accesses to information resources in order to meet the information need of diverse users. Mumitid Keleva 2019 also conducted a study at Institute of Financial Management to ascertain the acceptance of electronic resources used by the faculty member. It was discovered that a large proportion of an institutional budget is allocated to the subscription of electronic information resources. Then literature review on utilization of electronic information resources among library users. According to Sujata and Murphy, 2010, the use of electronic resources by researchers at the Fishery Sciences Institute of South India, the results show that there has been significant use of electronic resources, mainly for research purposes among the respondents. Then a study was conducted by Rahman 2020 on utilization of electronic resources. The findings revealed that
Mrs. Ajayi, please, we cannot. Mrs. Ajayi, we've lost your audio. Mrs. Ajayi, are you there? I think we lost Mrs. Ajayi. Mr. Bababumi, Rahman, Abiodun, please, you can unmute yourself and make your presentation. Mr. Bababumi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, please. Go ahead and make your presentation.
Okay. Standing on existing protocol, I'm here to present a paper on the effect of government's economic response on survival of MSMEs in post-COVID-19 era in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. The small and medium scale enterprise play a very vital role in economic development globally. These include employment generation, economic empowerment, and poverty alleviation. According to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, in Nigeria, the SMEs contribute to 48% of the national gross domestic product and account for 96% of businesses and 84% of employment. In 2019, there was a pandemic outbreak which started in China and spread to all parts of the world. It was first experienced in Nigeria in February 2020. And as was the case in other parts of the world, the outbreak put both social and economic activities on hold as a result of the lockdown. The objective of the study is to evaluate the perception of owners of MSMEs on the support measures of the government, and also to determine the extent to which government fiscal policies have addressed the needs of the MSMEs. Due to these objectives, these hypotheses were raised that there is no significant relationship between access to government financial support and SME survival. Also, the alternative hypothesis was that government tax relief do not have any impact on SME survival and growth. Relevant literature or recent literatures were reviewed. Among them was the paper of Kamaluddin 2021, who analyzed the degree of the impact of the COVID-19 on SMEs globally. The research was okay. The methodology.
Kindly tell us your methodology.
The methodology
your
adopted was
and recommendations.
Okay, the methodology adopted was the structured questionnaire to obtain information from 130 MSMEs owners in Ilorin, Kwara State. Two methods of data analysis was employed, and they are the descriptive statistics and inferential method of analysis. The model multiple linear regression model was used to test the relationship between the identified independent variable and the dependent variable. And the tax relief was used as the dependent variable, where government relief program to MSMEs was the turnover rate during the period was the dependent variable.
So, thank you for your presentation. Let the chairman observe and comment on your presentation and the paper itself.
So, well done, Mr. Bababome Rahman Abiodun. So the paper effect of government economic response on social survival of MSME in post-COVID-19 era. So it's well articulated. The abstract, so it's also okay, and generally the write-up is okay, and the references, so it's also very recent, so you have done well in the presentation. So thank you very much. So you keep it up. The way it is also presented, so the calmness and so on is also reflective. So, so you are welcome. So the paper is okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Mrs. Ajayi, can we please have the concluding part of your presentation? Mrs. Ajayi, please, and conclude your presentation, Mrs. Ajayi. Please unmute yourself. Mrs. Ajayi, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
I would like to talk about the challenges faced by the librarian. I would like to talk about the challenge faced by library users. Okay, the conclusion and the recommendation. In the course of a review, the information user, okay, no. Paper is made up, okay, mixed up. Sorry, there's mixed up. So, hello. So let me.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Thank you.
Because
so the recommendation, I would like to make my recommendation.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll not waste the time. So the librarian and the information school should organize refresher courses to keep the librarian abreast of a new trend in the profession. Then librarians should acquire technical skill. It is recommended that library association, as in LRCN and NLA, should organize useful training and seminar, which may help in preparing well-first librarian in this digital age. Thank you for listening. I cannot see you.
So thank you very much for the beautiful presentation. So the paper is okay and it's well articulated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Ajayi. I think you are our last presenter for this afternoon session. You are the last presenter for this afternoon session. Thank you for your participation. I think it is on this note that we appreciate that's all the people as you wrote here are true. I think Mrs. Ajayi is the last presenter for this afternoon. All other presentation has been scheduled to commence tomorrow. All other presentation has been scheduled to we'll commence the technical session from the schedule of presentation for tomorrow will be dropped on the platform today. Anybody who has not presented today should be ready to present it tomorrow. We only have one session tomorrow morning. The person should submit full paper to the conference email address and be ready to make presentations tomorrow. It is on this one. I want to appreciate all the presenters we've had today so far. I want to appreciate all, and we hope to see you tomorrow by 12 o'clock for the closing ceremony of the conference. Thank you. Thank you all. I want to appreciate the presence of our chairman, the chairman of the morning and afternoon technical session, Dr. Mrs. CEO Ajiwale Rimoguje and Dr. W.K. Adebi, respectively. Thank you. God bless you. I wish you all the best of the afternoon, and we'll reconvene tomorrow by 9 o'clock. We'll reconvene before 9 o'clock, but we'll start presentation by 9 o'clock exactly. Thank you all. God bless you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
The citadel of learning where great leaders are made. Fetch we are the first among equals, raising great scholars to change the world, leading the way to all round success. On knowledge, skills, and character we stand. Fetch so dear to